Morning, Spartan Warriors. Good morning. Hoorah, hoorah. As the Marines would say. I love that. Anyways, I always try to figure out what I'm going to talk about before I talk about it, because I kind of run out of things on top of my head. I've been doing this for so long. So I went through my computer. I found some interesting things. I'm going to read to you briefly, and you'll see the whole point of the whole thing at the end. But it's called Big Rock. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Frank Gomez, Spartan Warriors Mastermind, and I just like to share information here and there that will help you get through your day, make your life a little bit easier, that sort of thing. So it's called Big Rocks, and the author is unknown, but basically I'm going to just read this thing a little bit so I don't mess it up, because I didn't memorize it. So many years ago, there was a small group of disciples who had gathered to learn from their teacher. Basically, you know, like we go to school to learn from whoever. And he was reputed as one of the wisest men in the land. You know, to begin their lesson, the teacher told them to sit down in front of him. And he had this big glass bowl, and he started putting rocks into the bowl. You know, once the rocks were to the top, he asked the class, "Are these rocks full? Are these rocks full? Is the bowl full?" And he didn't really pay too much attention to him. They all said yes, right? So he started to pour some smaller pebbles into the bowl, and when it filled it, you know, when it looked like it was filled, he asked them again, same question: "Is this bowl now full?" And again, the students answered yes. This time he rolled his eyes at him, and he began to pour sand into the container until it was to the top. All right, and again he asked, "Is this bowl now full?" Now by this time the students were catching on. They were a little hesitant to say anything, but you know, some weren't, and the answer again was yes. So then the teacher smiled, and he had some water in a pitcher, and he put it into the bowl. Now the bowl was finally full. So he looked at the students and he asked them, "What was the lesson for me putting the big rocks in and then, you know, constantly putting other things in there to fill it up?" And one of the voices that came from the back of the room said, "There's always room for more," which is true, right? We can always do better. There's always room for more. But if you don't put in the big rocks first, you'll never have room for the smaller ones, right? Or you'll never have room for them at all, period, right? So what does that mean? It means, you know, the big rocks are our dreams, our goals, right? Our desires, the things, the huge things that we want. You know, sometimes you write your goals down, you make them big, and they don't even seem possible, right? And then those are your reasons why, the reasons why you get out of bed, and maybe it's who you do them for. You know, and it's really important because we can fill our day up with little tasky BS things all day long, being busy and not really making any steps to really want to be. You know, so by putting our big rocks first into our head and thinking about them, you know, they'll finally come first in the things that we think about all day, right? And that's why we work in the first place, right? For the big things, not for the little tasky things that we do. So I wanted to see what the Bible had to say about hard work. And so let's go real quick. I'm going to read these off. You know, we all know that work takes dedication, right? Hard work. And, you know, God wants us to be thriving in life, not just surviving in life. You know, he didn't put his warriors on the planet to be average, right? We wanted us to be fighters. And that's why I like Spartan Warriors, because they did. They put themselves into the battlefield and they fought for something bigger than themselves, right? They always did that. So here's some Proverbs from Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans, right? So if you put God first in your life, right? You put God first in your life, and he will show you the path that you should be on. But you got to listen too. It takes a lot of practice to do that, and I've been learning my whole life trying to figure that one out. You know, and it gets easier and it gets easier. You know, we do make mistakes, right? We're not God, so but those are easily corrected as long as you stay in with the Lord. All right. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race, and I have kept my faith. Just what I was telling you about. You know, you do what you believe is the right thing to do for you, for your family, for your community, right? And you consistently do that, and you fight for those things, right? Because if you fight for what you want now, and if you won't have to fight for what you don't want later, right? So that's the easiest thing that we can do, is fight for what we want now, so we don't have to fight for what we don't want later. The 1 Corinthians 10:3. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. So either you have your own job or you're employed by somebody. I like to do in the morning, I do my meditation or whatever, but I try to make believe that I'm working for God, working for Jesus, right? Because we are. That's what we're here for, right? We're here to be Christ-like, and that doesn't mean to be poor, and that doesn't mean to be struggling, because that's not what he wants for us, right? But he wants us to follow his word, right? And it's real easy to follow his word, because you just do the things to other people that you would want done to yourself, right? It's one of the things we learn in kindergarten, do unto others as you would like done unto you. And there's so many people out there and this is true. There are so many people out there that say, do unto others before they do unto you, right? And that is totally backwards, and it makes sense to some of these people who have been hurt before and many times. But in God's light, in the walk with Jesus, it's do unto others as you would like to see done unto you. God is our unfailing supply. Whatever we need is there, but we just need to follow him and have patience. It's not something that happens overnight. So, Spartan Warriors, that's the message for today. The big rocks first, your big dreams, your big desires, your big goals, right? All that first, and then the tasky stuff later. So, no fears, no excuses, no limitations, ever. Spartan Warriors never retreat, and they just never retreat, man. They're fighting all the time. So God bless all you all, and please, please be a blessing to someone else today. God bless.